Hello, everyone. Welcome to Youth Connections Cafe, hosted by Youth for Change Canada. It's a pleasure to be here today, and we truly wanted to do a shout out to Youth for Change for allowing us to be here on this platform to engage, connect, create, and inspire our youth. It is a pleasure. We underscore mental health in all that we do and all of our programming. If you follow us on social media, give us a like, and if you have any ideas for programming, we would love to hear from you. If you'd like to participate in any way, we'd also love to hear from you. My name is Lynne McIntee, and I'm your humble host today. Have an amazing guest speaker. And I'm just going to do a little introduction and we're going to take it away with our guest speaker. We're talking about mental health, of course, and all that we do, but leadership and how that works in youth mental health and supporting our youth in the community. All right, so we have Keowa, and from the Youth Mental Health Program Coordinator, Black Health Equity, Scarborough Center for Healthy Communities. That really excited me to know that Keowa was going to join us today. Her background is amazing, and what she has to offer is amazing. So I hope you'll engage, you'll connect, you'll create, and you'll inspire others with this conversation as well. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so grateful for this opportunity to be on such a great platform that aligns with my values of mental health and also aligns with our agency goals of promoting mental health and making a real change for the youth.
Thank you so much. We are just so excited for your presentation. We can either go right into it if you'd like. We're going to offer up some questions in between, but you tell us where you'd like to take us.
I would like to start off with the presentation.
Okay, let's go. Thank you. I'll just mute myself for now, and then I'll turn it on as we want to ask questions, give you some space there. Okay, friends, so we're just setting up and we're watching Youth Connections Cafe, hosted by Youth for Change Canada. We do a lot of subject matter here, so if you have an idea for programming, don't forget to follow us on social media and give us a like, and we'd love to hear from you. Getting ready for our presentation. I know,
Sorry.
no, that's all right. It's all good. And that's, part of working, online as well too, right? Yeah.
Yes, thank you for waiting as
Of
I set
course.
this up.
Yeah, for sure. We're here for you. That looks beautiful. Oh,
Thank
couple.
you. I'm trying to set it up to present.
Sure. I'll just go ahead and talk a little bit and you just give me the thumbs up.
Okay.
You
Sorry.
could, oh
I
no, that's okay, no worries. Yeah. So, I just wanted to talk about our vision. Youth for Change vision is for marginalized youth with opportunities to live wholesome, successful, and enriching lives, which we all try to do in all parts of our life, not only youth, but other adults as well. The mission is to improve the quality of life and build on skill sets that are really important to us. All right, so we're going to be going ahead, talking about mental health. And it is a very important topic. We underscore it in everything we do. Wherever you go, it's all about balance.
Okay. Thank you everyone for waiting. The presentation is ready.
Thank you.
Can you all see it?
Can you see it, Jack? Actually, I can't. Oh, there we go. Yep. Oh, yeah,
Okay.
perfect. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Keowa Walters, and I will be presenting a short presentation about mental health and leadership brought to you by SCHC Ties Healing Roots. Keowa Walters, but a lot of my friends and family call me Kiki. This is a nickname that's very dear to me. I'm a mental health program coordinator, professional basketball player, entrepreneur, personal trainer, mentor, and leader. Down below, I have one of my favorite Bible verses that motivates me through hard times that I thought I would share as a part of this presentation as well. Here's some quick facts to get to know me. My birthday, September 8th. My hometown in Toronto is Little Jamaica. I come from Jamaican and Nigerian heritage. My favorite color is pink. My favorite food is oxtail rice and peas with plantain. And a fun fact about me is that I've been to 12 countries so
Nice.
far and plan on going to more. I want to start off by sharing this short documentary that will tell you more about my basketball career and my overall journey with mental health and my personal trials and tribulations. I hope you all enjoy. This documentary was filmed in Dublin, Ireland during my time at Griffith College.
how could I stop all our dreams and pop big fingers all I'm making what no one ever.
Just cutting out a little bit the audio, but yeah, just a FYI there, Keowa. But we're seeing great visuals. I don't know, Jack, can you hear?
No.
That's okay. We'll figure that out. So Keowa, I don't know if you can hear us at all, but if you have a chance to check your audio for the presentation. But this is beautiful.
I'm sorry, can you guys not hear the audio?
We can't.
No.
No, thank you though for checking in. And it happens. That's online platforms, right?
How could I stop all our dreams and pop big fingers all I'm making what no one ever pop. I ain't puny with your boy cause I feel like you're up and I'm still with the shit. Stop.
I'm Keowa, a professional basketball player and pursuing a master's degree in Dublin, Ireland on my first professional contract.
They all the place okay like get it, hey, man, this shake, man. I'm making it
Side at the recreation center or just with my family doing fun activities, and we were really competitive with sports, specifically basketball, but I never really played organized basketball in a team setting until my mom really invested into me being on like competitive team. But I always played for fun since I was like 4 years old or 5 years old. I always knew that I wanted to do something every Saturday for about like 10 weeks. I would just work on my skill, running, conditioning, cardio, ball handling, shooting, just developing my game. That's when I knew I wanted to play professionally. You could go to college for free because of basketball. You could make money playing basketball if you have the passion and have the drive. I originally signed a contract to a club in Finland. I just didn't feel at home because of the disconnect of the culture and the language barrier at the time. I got led to Colester Basketball Club and I got to speak with the coach Mark Grinnell, who basically explained the team atmosphere, culture, and values. I then came here myself to see, which were all true. I feel like this is where I was meant to be. They initially recruit you through seeing you at the games and you expose yourself and make yourself desirable. So we organized our own team in Canada for AAU and then would drive over to Atlanta, Kentucky, Virginia. That's how I got exposed. And then having a coach who really advertised me as a player, as an individual. I battled with mental health during my second year of college at Buffalo due to my mom going through an illness which caused her to go into the hospital, which was a very difficult time for me. Also going through COVID, which caused me not to be able to travel back home to her during that time. A big part of the reason I chose to go to the university at Buffalo was because of the proximity to Toronto. And then a literal pandemic shut everything down and took away that access and luxury that I initially chose that for, which caused me to like lose my balance between school and basketball and kind of fall into a dark place. So it was an unfortunate situation, and because it wasn't like a linear thing, it got better at some points and worse at some points. But when I got to BCU, that's when I got access to proper mental health resources that my coach actually paid for outside of her own money. I knew that she was willing to invest in me by looking for someone in the area of Virginia who would best suit me and my needs. I'm happy that I was able to overcome it throughout my journey because it has really helped propel and shape me into who I am today.
She was a good girl. She was very opinionated, very strong-willed, but she was always a joy to have around. Taking her to where she needs to go and those McDonald's treats after. So yes, I do believe those things encourage her because she knows that she could always count on me. I've always taken her to her practices, but I attended her first game in Buffalo when she left, and that was extremely special because I just felt like I was on top of the world. You know, it was a pleasure for me to say, "That's my granddaughter." um, it was just, I just felt so super proud of her. You know, just to watch her from where she started as a little girl to the point where she was that I'm in the professional setting, watch my granddaughter play. I'm watching her on TV, and I'm like, that's my granddaughter. So yeah, my first Buffalo game.
The best advice my grandma has given me, I could do anything I put my mind to. My grandma has never told me I can't do anything before. She was always there no matter what I wanted to do. Since I was a little kid, I always remember her being there. So she's a strong lady, so she tells me I could be even stronger.
This her as well. And she loves me unconditionally, which is, I love her unconditionally as well. So I'm super proud of everything that she has done. And I'm proud that she's always stayed true to herself. She's taught me so many things. Confidence. Even at my big age, she's still teaching me. She's just fantastic.
how could, but
I Oopsie.
Now, and as you're adjusting that, Keowa, I'm totally touched by that intro. Very, very impactful.
Volunteers pay. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for your kind words, Lynn. I'm just trying to figure out how to move on to the next slide from the video. Sorry, thank you.
You got it for sure. That amazing, and just how touching to include your grandmother in that presentation as well. Wow, very, very impactful. Jack, any thoughts on that?
When did she start basketball? Was she 5 years old or?
Well, let's see. We'll put that on the radar for answering. Thank you.
Yes, so thank you for the great question, Jack. So I initially started playing basketball at the local recreation center here in my community at a young age, at 4 years old. I was there with my auntie who was 14, who would bring me with her. And at that time, I was really small, so the guys who she was friends with would lift me up to the rim for me to be able to even shoot. And sometimes the ball would come back down and hit me when I wasn't strong enough. So I started playing basketball and being basketball around basketball at a very young age, but I didn't start playing recreational organized basketball until I was in grade 8. That's when I signed up for a program outside of just playing in school and winning little games at school and little championships at school, and started to invest in my actual craft by joining a recreational club outside of school hours. So I went from just playing basketball at school at recess and on the team for like 1 month of the whole year to then playing for the whole summer and traveling and going to different places by the time I was in grade 9 and played my first season of AAU in America. I only played two seasons of AAU in my career, and then I played 5 years of college basketball and then 1.5 years overseas.
Good, Jack? Yeah, that answers your question? I think so. Yeah, no, for sure. Very, very thorough. So I'll let you go into it. Actually, do you want to keep talking, or would you like us to ask a question or two?
Well, any questions before I move on is fine with me.
Okay, so how did you think of preparing that intro there? How did that come to be, first of all, to include your grandmother and sharing the beginning of your story? Yeah.
So, during my time throughout basketball, after I graduated, I made it a I made it a real focus of mine to advocate for mental health and not just support my mental health. I was tired of just going through the motions of supporting my own mental health when I knew that I had the ability to impact others because of the skills that I had on the basketball court, the things I was accomplishing in the classroom. People looked up to me, but what were they looking up to me for? Was it just the good? I wanted them to know that everything they wasn't were seeing wasn't just based on perfect circumstances. I wanted to show the true story of how I really got to where I was, and that was through going through mental health and determining what was truly important to me by being challenged, being questioned in the things that I loved, that made me go even harder to get to where I wanted to be. So I felt that it was only right when I reached that level of professionalism in my craft that I started at the age of 12.
Right.
It was honestly time to speak up about the real struggles that do come with pursuing something that you love.
Hmm, beautiful. Thank you for that. Jack, anything at this point? Or I'll keep going if not. Yes. Um, yes, could you speak to the journey in terms of even if from 12 onward and on through the whole life, but in the same sense, it's very important because I like how you're so authentic and willing to share. Because as you said, it's not always, the other, it's not always just the happy part. There are many layers to us. And I think that's really important for youth to appreciate, understand, and know that that is okay.
Yes. And I noticed myself even falling into a trap with my own mental health where I was looking at people on social media, and social media was basically reflecting a perfect image of everybody's life. Everybody showing you when they got the car, when they got the new job, when they got the professional position in their dream career, but no one's really showing you the nitty-gritty. And that's something that I feel like a lot of people, even around me, my friend group, we're very true when we share what we're feeling emotionally towards each other, going through in our lives. Even in my family, we express when we're feeling things emotionally. And I feel like emotional intelligence is something that goes beyond relationships, but affects our careers, the way we feel, the way we think, the way we respond, even the opportunities we'll go after. So that's why I really wanted to say that I struggle with this and I still accomplish these things so that someone else who's looking at me or not looking at me can know that I'm human too. So they can not only empathize with me, but see themselves through me and know that they can do great things too.
Mm, that's beautiful. It really is. And emotional intelligence is really looked at today, whereas maybe, let's just say 10 years ago, for that matter, employers weren't really looking at that. It was more robotic type, thinking, I guess, if you will. But it's being appreciated, that emotional intelligence, and people are uncovering, unraveling what that truly means. And what you bring to the table because you have that ability. I truly believe everybody has that ability, but it's fine tuning it. And we're
Right.
all given toolkits in life, and whether we sharpen the tools at different times in our lives, you just bring
Yeah.
it out at different points.
I completely agree. And I can't take all the credit because this is not something I was born with. This is something I had to learn and grow into accept. And I honestly am so thankful for my free education at Virginia Commonwealth University because during that time, I was able to study psychology
Mm.
and sociology, giving me a perspective of how people think and feel within themselves, but also how that manifests itself within society and how people move and operate in these systems based on the feeling of self and how they perceive others and perceive their own experience. So then when I realized that we all have these feelings, some of us just know how to process them better than others. Some of us just feel more open to articulate or express them more than others. So we all have a choice to accept and try to understand these emotions because at the end of the day, there's something that we're all going to experience at some point, whether it's longevity or in a moment, whether it's firsthand through us or someone we know. So that's why it was so important for me to not only share it for myself to express how I feel or what I'm going through, but for people around me to understand that they can also come to me for
Mm,
understanding if they're going through something. And even since I opened up about my own mental health and my own experiences, I've been able to connect and support, but also receive support from people going through the same things as me that I had no idea about until simply saying, hey, me too.
for sure. Oh, wow. Jack, anytime you're welcome to jump in. We'll keep the conversation flowing. I know Keowa's going to be doing some other slides as well. But, I just right away off the top of my head, what was your first, how did you realize that that's something that you needed to explore? Was it, were you 12? Were you 15? Were you 8? Did you start to notice that that's important?
Um, just to clarify, do you
Mhm.
mean like emotional intelligence or understanding my feelings.
Understanding your feelings. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so at a very young age, I understood that I had a lot of emotions inside of me because when I would be expressive or happy to see my friends, like they would always react at my reactions or they would always know my feelings. And then that's when I started to notice like statements like, oh, wearing your heart on your sleeve and starting to understand like, oh, that meant like, oh, you're showing this expression or you're doing this, and people could tell how you're necessarily feeling inside. So when I started to understand that I was a very outwardly expressive emotional person, I
Mhm.
started to understand more, okay, what emotions make me feel a certain way and how do they manifest themselves? And then I realized sometimes the way emotions appear outwardly is not always related to the emotion that's within. You can appear angry, but really be sad.
Yes.
Appear anxious, but really be so excited about an opportunity you never thought you would experience. You
Mhm.
can feel unqualified, but really it's just something new. So when I started to shift my mindset and stop allowing the way my emotions necessarily project themselves and started honing in on what I was actually feeling and what
Mm.
that feeling was coming from, that's when I started to get to an older age around, I want to say 23. When I started to connect the dots really between, okay, feelings are not always what they seem. They
Mhm.
may come from another place, but I always was in tune with my emotions and knew when I liked something, didn't like something, and knew how to say happy, mad, sad, upset, and the basic terminology. But as I got older, I really understood where the emotions stemmed from rather than just how I was feeling.
Wow, wow. Could talk to you for days, Keowa. So do you think that has a lot to do with your family then, in terms of how you received that for yourself?
I would say yes, it is a
Mhm.
result of me wanting to understand my family.
Gotcha.
So I come from Jamaican and Nigerian heritage, as I mentioned,
Yeah.
and I'm only a second generation Canadian on my mother's side and first generation Canadian on my father's side.
Wow.
So all of my family members that I'm surrounded around mostly are from the Caribbean and African descent. So they have a different upbringing, a different way of thinking, a overall, like I mentioned, heritage.
Yeah.
And for me, mental health and culture,
Yeah.
heritage go so hand in hand because the way my older generations of family coming from different places may perceive mental health and their overall awareness and ability to understand emotional intelligence and the importance of having an opportunity to be able to stop and acknowledge your emotions, because that's also a newer opportunity in my community where we're actually able to have the opportunity to have self-care, give ourselves the resources from people that look similar to us and understand maybe where we're coming from a bit more, as there's an increase in Black psychologists and sociologists and these people who are studying these things that affect us culturally that lead to our mental health on a psychological level as well, from systematic racism and these things that we face. So their experience is so different from mine. I understood at an early age the only way I could understand others is literally by stepping in their shoes. I
Mhm.
always understood the concept of empathy and even got the empathy award like as a kid. Like at like those little assemblies where it would be like characteristic of the month. I understood
Yes.
empathy like since grade 3. So for me, because I came from people who were so different, but I knew they were my people because we
Yeah.
have the same blood. I knew that even though they talk a little different, look a little different, sound a little different from me, and think a little different, they're still my people and they're worth understanding.
Mm. Oh, that is so, thank you for putting it, sharing that with us and putting it that way. Cross-cultural communication is so key and underscoring everything that we do, but especially for youth, because they're caught between both worlds, or a few worlds, if you will. And it's important to embrace and connect the dots. And that's okay, and not to dismiss. As maybe at a younger age, they may feel like they have to, but as you evolve as a young person, you realize, oh, I need to embrace this. This is my identity. Um, Not everybody gets that opportunity to realize that in themselves. So community supports, community leaders like yourself or community leaders elsewhere are so very important to empower. to unravel, help others to unravel what direction they can take things in order to meet their own needs and that they can be progressive in society as well. Right?
Yeah.
Jack, anything?
I
Yeah.
I think I love this how she does all this stuff, but that age, I'm just happy for that.
Me too. Me too. I feel that as well. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jack and Lynn, for the kind words. I'm glad it could resonate with you, and thank you for actually caring towards it as well.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you. So you can take us where you would like, but yeah, what would you like us to ask questions, or would you like to continue with the slide?
I'll continue with the slide so you guys could now you guys can see what all of that background has led me into doing with my work with SCHC as part of the Black Equity Team and Healing Roots, which is our youth mental health program. So I would like to share some information about that now.
All right. Shout out to Healing Roots.
Yes. So Healing Roots is a comprehensive initiative designed to support the emotional, psychological, and social well-being of youth throughout Scarborough. This is a part of Toronto's action plan to combat anti-Black racism and Black health equity. Our program delivers a range of evidence-based services, including peer support, mentorship, mental health workshops, and recreational wellness activities aimed at reducing stigma, increasing access to resources, and building resilience among Black youth aged 10 to 25. This program specifically is very close to my heart as I was a youth who also went to Scarborough Boys and Girls Club as a kid with my mother working in the Scarborough community. I knew what it was like to be in that community, saw the population, and knew that I always wanted to go back there and give back to this community specifically for all that it has given to me.
Amazing.
Healing Roots program goals: early initiative and prevention, community engagement, capacity building, and cultural relevance. With all our programs, we aim to provide early intervention and prevention to equip youth with the tools, resources, and strategies they need to handle mental health crises before they happen. Community engagement. We aim to foster a safe and inclusive space where youth feel seen, heard, and supported through real community partnerships and programs that are youth-led initiatives that will really change and impact their lives. We want to help youth build the capacity by training them, frontline workers in mental health literacy, specifically towards the Black youth's needs, since they are an underserved population in the Scarborough community that need intervention now. Lastly, we always aim to be culturally relevant. We recognize that there's many diverse Black people in Canada, from Black Canadians, people from African descent and Caribbean descent, and many other Black and Brown identifying individuals who may need programs like this. We aim to not only provide an experience that enriches their lives, but also tailors to their specific cultural needs as Black people living in Canada, in the Scarborough region. So recently, I started my first program at SCHC Ties Healing Roots, which is our summer camp ranging from July 14th to August 14th. I am the lead youth mental health program coordinator there, doing mental health activities with the kids ages 11 through 17. But we do have two groups of campers, also a younger age group, 6 through 10, who I do provide support and emotional counseling to as well. So
Wow.
yeah, with that, it's just surface level where we do our affirmations, check-ins, nothing personal or detailed. It's just mentorship and leadership supports, but we just refer to it as counseling since it's in the mental health realm.
Mhm.
With this, I provide support to Scarborough's youth daily, design programs based on youth wants and needs, as mentioned, and providing mental health education and resources. We want to provide the youth with the tools and the education level to be able to identify when there's a crisis in themselves, in their friends, and within their community and family. This gives them the ability to feel empowered and also know where to go if something does happen. Oftentimes, we think people don't do things because they don't want to, but oftentimes it's a lack of knowledge that creates a barrier from them being able to take action. So this is something we definitely aim to reduce. Does anyone have any questions? I'm sorry.
No, thank you for reiterating that. It's often that it's just access to resources. I wondered if you had a scenario, just designing programs based on youth wants and needs. If you have a scenario that you can share with us where someone's been able to access the services.
Yes, I actually do. So this week, Thursday, I started a project for what we will be doing next week, which is our self-care and DIY projects. So this Thursday, I basically allowed the kids the opportunity to look at several different products and look at themselves, focus on their goals after a week long of self-evaluation, icebreakers, and mental health introductions that kind of taught them how to think about where they want to go, how to get there, and the things that allow them to look good, feel good, and be good every single day. So this Thursday was basically to put the first week of knowledge to test by allowing them to create a vision board, which included some of their desires for themselves, whether it was self-care routine, the way they wanted to style their hair to feel more confident, the things they wanted to wear to dress and walk into a room for an interview, or to run their business per se. So during this time, they came up with several different designs and they came up with several different products that they potentially wanted, but wouldn't normally have access to due to whatever reasons in their personal lives or proximity. And then next week, based on those vision boards that I collected and allowed them to create on Thursday, I'm going to be collecting some of those individual products that they designed on the sheet, and then they're going to make their own DIY self-care kits next week. And then we're going to talk about the importance of investing in yourself, how taking care of your outer can help your inner feel better, like showering when you're depressed or feeling down, getting up and brushing your teeth and washing your face, making your bed so you don't lay in it, all these basic concepts, and then actually giving them the resources that they said they wanted
I don't
personally
know.
through that project to be able to use it in our space provided by us to show them that when they show us they want something and put in the work, we provide it when we can.
That's amazing. I feel empowered just listening to you explaining that. That is so cool. How good does that feel when you're working with the youth, but also contributing in this way on a daily basis?
Honestly, it feels very good and humbling as well because I never even imagined that I would be in this position, let alone I didn't even imagine I would graduate college. So even to have this job where I would be in front of so many people who I would be able to help with the knowledge I did gain from college, the knowledge I gained from my personal experience, and then have the ability to know that it's bigger than myself and be humble enough and vulnerable enough to want to share and then also be able to learn from the kids. Because even when I'm having these conversations with them and they're sharing their current experiences, I get a different perspective that I can't have because I can never be 10 years old, 11 years old, 12 years old, 15 years old right now in 2025 going through what they're going through. I could never live in their home every single day and wake up and know what they're experiencing here. So even that privilege and experience of getting to share, but also getting to receive from the youth, I never imagined I would be here, but it does feel so amazing to have the opportunity and so fulfilling, but also very humbling.
Wow. And then, Keowa, did you present this program, this idea for the summer camp? Did someone come up? Did you, you know, uh, team share sort of the ideas, or how did that come to be?
So the summer camp program that we are offering is in combination with another program at our organization, Glow and Grow. So
Oh,
they do all of the activities, which is like the field games, the stretching, they do field trips and stuff like that. But as the program supervisor and with Healing Roots, I specifically design and run all of the youth mental health program myself. I solely designed the templates and calendar and schedule for all of the mental health programming that we would do based on what I thought would be best for the kids' interests. And then in the first week, I kind of surveyed some of my ideas and then even made key adjustments to tailor them even more toward that specific demographic in the summer camp this year.
Wow, they're very, very lucky to have you, and I know you feel lucky to be there as well. But
I'm very grateful to be there.
oh, it's just it sounds fantastic, and you are fantastic. You can hear your passion, your knowledge base, and it's just so uplifting to hear you speak. It's just wow. Jack, anything you wanted to ask at this point before we carry on?
I just want to keep going on.
Yeah, no, it's very contagious, the enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Right? Honest to goodness. That's so great. So yeah, it sounds like you're doing amazing things, amazing work. And the fact that you fine tune it accordingly, right?
yeah.
That's allowing you to step outside yourself. And sometimes people just box it in and okay, that's it. But good for you. I have great admiration for someone who's able to do that.
Yes, but honestly, I would say because, like I said, the camp is in combination with Glow and Grow. The reason I'm able to tailor it so much towards the group is because I specifically get to focus on the youth mental health program coordination because my supporting staff members at the camp, including the other members of my ties team and the Glow and Grow,
Mhm.
are so great with the kids, I only have to focus on mental health. So it allows me to be able and afforded the opportunity to tailor it towards the kids and get to make individual connections with each of the kids 6 through 17.
Oh, what a gift. A
Yeah.
gift for
So
you.
shout out to my team for real because they're the reasons as well why we get to create such a comprehensive and focused mental health program for this group of youth. I couldn't do it without them.
Thank you for underscoring that. There is no I in team. It is a collective and really takes a community
Yes,
for
always,
sure.
always.
Yeah. So do you just skip home at the end of the day with are you just like really happy with the accomplishments each day with the youth? Does it feel good to know that it's working?
I was literally walking through the summer camp yesterday because it's only Monday through Thursday and today's Friday.
Yeah.
So yesterday was our last day of the week. And I was literally walking through the hall with one of the kids and I was thinking, oh my gosh, like I'm just so happy to be able to be here and like receive them so well and support them because I remembered the like literally some key Boys and Girls Club members who Boys and Girls Club, sorry, staff members who really inspired and helped me. I saw my own mom be a youth worker for FYI in the West and in my own community here on Little Jamaica. So I grew up in the community center. My mom also works for another non-for-profit organization as well.
Yeah.
So she is deeply in this community and she knows about everything since I was younger. That's pretty much what I grew up in, with her being in volunteer work throughout Scarborough, the West End, and now even with Scarborough Center for Healthy Communities as well.
Wow. So it's the heartbeat of yeah, the core of who you are.
Yeah, I grew up watching my mom for real. Like my
Mhm.
mom is one of the people who really inspired me to give back because I saw her always like keep leveling up, but as she continued to level up, she never forgot to reach down and try to bring someone else with her. So I knew as a leader, the best thing you can do is bring others with you.
Oh, it's wonderful. How wonderful for our society when we're able to do that. It's only a win-win, isn't it, right?
Yes.
Wow, wow. Shout out to your mom. Raising an amazing, amazing citizen. Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. This is a great slide presentation. Do you want to go into the next? I could also post some questions or whichever you prefer. I'm just going with the flow with you.
That's it.
Okay. Wow. Have you run into any mentors from previous at all and currently talking to them about the work that you're doing?
Yes, I have actually. So, sorry, is it still sharing?
Your background's great. No, it's not sharing, just your background is good.
That was the end of the presentation, so that's perfect. I didn't want to share anymore. I just wanted to know.
Good, good. Yeah.
So recently, like I mentioned, I had one key mentor at the Boys and Girls Club, and I actually got to go to her own salon studio that she has now built up in the West End of Toronto yesterday because I was going to look into renting a suite.
Oh, okay.
So she was someone who really inspired me growing up, and she told me a lot of her aspirations and always like spoke life into me, saying that I could get to where I wanted to be. And even when I went to go review the studio yesterday, it kind of flooded back so many memories about what she told me I could become, but also what she knew she would become. And what's crazy is her sister also works at SCHC as well. And I didn't even find that out until this year when speaking to her.
Oh my
So it was
goodness.
crazy that I knew someone else in her family who I thought so highly of, and I didn't even notice it until seeing their last names that this girl I knew all the way in the West End at the Boys and Girls Club in the eighth grade is now sisters with someone I'm working with in my nonprofit organization as an adult in Scarborough.
Very cool.
So it just goes to show, even with her and the people in my life, she's been a lifelong mentor. Like I said, I'm now reaching to her in my mid 20s, and I met her when I was in middle school. And I'm going to her studio now trying to book like rent a room and everything because I'm an entrepreneur as well.
Oh,
And it's
neat.
just so crazy to know that she's one of the people who poured into me. And now I'm able to pour into other people, but she also has her older sister who's at my agency who poured into her. And I have my mom who poured into me, and they pour into each other at the agency. So it's like all interconnected.
Yeah, so filling your cup with goodness, right?
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. So you mentioned entrepreneurship. Are you able to touch on that just a bit?
Yes,
Uh,
I
what's your, yes.
So I have a business called Divine Natural Products. It's coming out with a product line and it's also registered. I registered it 3 years ago when I first transferred over to VCU, and I wanted to elevate myself with the new income I was getting with the new laws in the NCAA, and just basically wanted to start something for myself because I knew how important it was to just own something. So at
Yeah.
that time, I didn't necessarily know what it would become, but now as I've gotten more experience and I've come to terms with what I actually want to do, I'm forming the company into a natural mental health line that has essential oils and stuff like that. Yes, that reduce anxiety, stress, depression, and all of those things. Yeah,
That is
it's
so very
all
cool.
natural oils.
Oh my goodness, wow. And I could talk to you about that on the side. We're going to be doing entrepreneurship coming up, so maybe at some point I can invite you back. Or
Sorry if I was a bit off. I wasn't prepared to talk much about
that's
entrepreneurship today.
that was good. We touched on it, a little touch point there, but that's good. A shout out to you. So Jack, I just wanted, we were talking before off camera just about our own journeys and stuff like that, but how important is it for you to recognize supports in the community with mental health access?
I never done that, so I don't know how that's not.
Yeah, yeah. So this is, we were also Keowa and I were saying this is somewhat new in thought, I guess, in many ways. So we're literally developing as we go, I guess, right? And how important it is for youth, and cross-culturally, it's very important for the work that we do with Youth for Change. It's key. It's we underscore that in everything, and that's number one. And sometimes people don't always have access to the resources that we're talking about. So this is great programming, great passion, great ideas, and it's important to hear the human side of things, which Kiowa has shared. But what about our own personal stories, and how do we find people in the community, like Keowa, like the Scarborough Health Center, like the Roots program, like someone sitting at their home and maybe their parents are not supporting that? How could they access some of these things themselves to help them move along with supports?
I actually created a youth mental health resource advert for everyone to have access to. It has scannable QR codes, and it
Oh,
also has several resources listed, including our own, for anyone who would like to get in direct contact with me via work line. Our youth mental health program coordinator number is there provided as well. So I can share that on the screen for everyone.
Sure, thank you. It is a common thing I hear in conversation, I guess, off camera, if you will, not in public when people are talking, like, you know what? I just really, I don't know how to do that, you know.
Yeah. So this is the youth mental health resource support sheet I designed.
Mhm.
And then I featured some key mental health agencies in our community, including Toronto East Youth Wellness Hub.
Yeah.
I was focused on Toronto East because, of course, I'm located in Scarborough, focusing on that demographic. So a lot of these resources are closer to Scarborough, but also have other locations throughout the GTA.
Hmm. Hmm. This is great. Oh, wow. Thank you for that. Yeah, and our recording will allow our attendees, our youth, to access that. So thank you for that.
Yes.
Oh.
I was hoping someone would ask for resources.
Okay, good. It's a natural fit, isn't it? Right. Um, so then, you're doing really great work. And then where do you see things going from here in terms of your work in mental health?
Honestly, this right here was the start of what I want to do more. I want to start engaging, getting more comfortable public speaking, sharing
Mhm.
my story, interacting with others, and empowering them to understand their feelings, help others understand their feelings, be more understanding of others' feelings and perspectives, increase empathy, and also be a leading mental health advocate for the Black community one day.
Yeah, very much so. We've had a diversity and inclusion officer from New England Health System there on as guest speakers for another other org that we do, and it's always ongoing, isn't it? Right? It's something that you never, you go to sleep, yes, but you start the next day, and the passion is there to continue.
Yes.
Yes, yes. That's so key, and I really hope to follow you. I do have questions that I'd written out, but you did such a great presentation. I'm kind of leaving it there for that. But in the same sense, I just want to make sure that Jack, if you have any ideas for, asking questions, whether it be, through basketball, or what Keowa is doing right now, or maybe childhood going forward in the community. Any?
When did you start use?
When did I start youth?
Yeah.
Okay, so I actually started this new position May 12th because this program under Toronto Black Health Equity has just been started for like the funding just began. So the position was just created. So I just began in May 12th.
Is that a good, and you good
Yeah.
with that? Anything part B of that, or let me make sure I give you the floor there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty new to the role. I've only been in this role for 2 months so far.
And then Keowa, how did you find out about the position? The,
When I was a intensive case manager in November, when I first came back from overseas after an injury, my
Mm,
mental health declined, and I was like, I cannot stay in the house. I
mhm,
cannot just be injured. So I decided to work in the meantime. And at that time, I was an intensive case manager finishing out a contract that
mm,
was a year contract and only had like 4 months remaining. And during that 4 months of being an intensive case manager, I signed up for the Black History Month committee, which
mm,
ended up planning events and everything. And that's when I got introduced to the other staff who cared about Black health equity and initiatives like that. So I got in the loop of like opportunities, programs, and fundings. And then um, when the position came out, I saw it on my work email because I was still a part of the agency. And then I ended up having an interview with one of the managers who was also a part of the Black History Month committee and stuff like that. So even though she didn't know me very well because she only had met me once at the Black History Month committee where we had put on like the event and stuff, she was very impressed by She was very impressed by my interview, which led me to getting the position then in May when my
Mm,
contract ended.
yeah, no, I can see why they were impressed for sure.
Thank you. But it happened very like organically. Like I just slowly showed I had an interest in mental health and Black history and stuff like that before I even knew that the funding would happen. So because like the Black History Committee was something that we had to sign up for, and it was outside of our traditional roles in the organization, and it was to put on Black history cultural events to celebrate Black Canadians, Black Africans, Black Caribbeans, and every Black identifying person from all around the world in Canada. So I took on that opportunity because I said, I don't care if I'm an intensive case manager. Love Black history, and this is important to me, so I'm going to be there. And during that time, I met so many amazing people of all races at SCHC who were there to support, be around the community, and that's when I really knew I wanted to stay in the organization. So I quickly applied to the role and waited to see if I was going to get it after the interview. It felt like years, but it was only like 2 weeks that I waited,
That's a
and I
great
got the
story.
job. Yeah.
Congratulations on that. You are, what a fit. What a perfect fit. You can totally feel that. And just, yeah, 100%. If you were to recommend anybody, any youth out there who wanted to pursue the avenues that you have taken, whether it be in basketball or, whichever, work in mental health, what would they have to do? I know it's a kind of a big question, but in the same sense, volunteering in the community, whatever, aligning themselves with a mentor, anything you can speak to in that regard.
I would say to any youth aspiring to play basketball, to be in mental health, to graduate, or do anything that they want to put their mind to. This is the one thing I always do in anything. Keep asking questions until you get what you want. Keep walking in rooms until you find the right one. Don't stop at the first no, and don't be satisfied always with the first yes. Always want more for yourself, but also know when to be satisfied with what you accomplished.
Wow. Can you write that down? That is perfect. Honest to goodness, that is amazing. It just feels so right. And you're beautiful in the way you present. You really are. And yes, yes, for sure. And it really keeps the door open for people to feel comfortable. And that's what we try to do for Youth for Changes and Youth Connections Cafe, create a safe space. And it is truly a safe space engaging with you in this conversation.
Thank you. Thank you
Wow.
guys so much for having me. It was such a great opportunity to be on a platform. You're
Mhm.
giving me so much credit, but Lynn, like honestly, the way you interview, the way you introduct and everything makes the space feel like this for us to be able to share these stories. So thank you for having me, Keowa Walters, but also thank you for featuring Scarborough Center for Healthy Communities and our amazing new program, Healing Roots. I hope everyone seeks us for the mental health resources. We really care about the community and serving everyone who needs it.
That has been amazing. Thank you. It's been a grateful time to spend time with you. Jack, I want to give you a moment to ask one final question, maybe, and then we can ask words of wisdom. I'll give Keowa a chance to think about that for a moment. Words of wisdom to our youth before we sign off. Jack, any final question for Keowa in terms of programming? Anything at all? We're just happy to have you today.
When did you start basketball?
I
When
started
did you start playing basketball?
I started playing basketball when I was 4.
Wow.
Yes, that's when I first started playing basketball, like dribbling a ball, shooting. Yes, 4 years old.
But good. Oh, and just overseas, like before we kind of sign off,
Yeah.
what was the experience like overseas in terms of support? And
So overseas at the first destination I went to, Finland, I had a great circumstance because it was a very high league, highly regarded league, especially as a rookie, but it just didn't feel like somewhere I could be comfortable and happy for the next 8 months, especially with my previous history of mental health and knowing that eventually around 3 p.m. every day the sun would be going down and it would be dark, and then I would be alone in my room. So, with me not making immediate connections because of the small town we were in, and then me also knowing my history, I kind of had the self-awareness to know, okay, I'll give it a try on the basis that I have a 2-week clause in my contract to choose to leave if I do not like it and they will get me a plane ticket home.
Mm,
Because of my mental health, I also contemplated not even playing professional basketball. But I had people at in the time of my life at my graduation who told me that I was big enough to overcome the struggles of what I was going through now if I was willing to put in the work, and I still had so much value for the game. So I just decided to give it a try. And that led me to Finland, and I did not like it. I called my agent and I said I was coming home to Canada. And my
mm,
agent is Italian, and she was like, "No, Key, you're not going home. You have to stay and try." I'm like, "But I can't stay here." And she's like, "Yes, but just try it." And I'm like, "No, I actually need to relocate." And she's like, "Okay, I'll try my best to get you somewhere where you could be more comfortable, but you're good enough to be here, so you need to try for at least 1 year." So I listened to her, and that's when I moved to Ireland, and everything got a little bit better for me because I was already excited at the fact that I recognized the language because their first language is English, and then they followed by their native Irish. So
mhm,
that was easier for me because I was able to look around, see the signs, go in the grocery store, understand what food I was getting right away. Versus Finland, they speak Finnish. That is
yeah.
one of the furthest languages away from English in translation. So that was going to take me a lot of lessons and time to learn, which I would have been able to do over time. But I just knew in that moment of where I was and how kind of fragile my mental health was and how much it took for me to be able to build myself up to go overseas. I knew it was better to protect myself and what I've already worked for than to fight another unnecessary fight when I have other options. So I was humble enough to know, like, okay, instead of just forcing it because I don't want to be embarrassed and I want people to know that I'm pro, I rather prioritize my mental health and not allow myself to continue to suffer just for basketball. Because that's what I felt like I was doing in the past when I felt like I couldn't walk away because I had to play basketball because it was paying my scholarship. It was allowing me a place to live. It was giving me an opportunity to be in the United States. I didn't feel like I owed basketball anything. When
Yeah.
I became pro, I felt like I owed myself everything. So that's when I knew I was ready to actually be a pro because I understood who I was. And it was now bigger and more about me than basketball. And then suddenly basketball got fun again in Ireland, and I loved it. So then even, yeah, I was like,
That is so great. What a great story. Thank you for sharing that.
yeah. I was like, what? Like me choosing to walk away from basketball in Finland made me love basketball way more.
Ah,
Because I put myself first and finally showed myself that I'm Keowa the person, bigger than basketball, more important than basketball.
mm,
So then even if it's a good or bad game, it doesn't affect me. I'm
mhm.
only not good when I'm not good emotionally. I'm
Yeah.
not tying it to basketball. I'm not tying it to school
Mhm.
anymore. And that's what kind of took the relief away when I kind of made that choice where I'm like, you know what? I don't care if I'm getting paid in euros and I'm coming from Canada. Nothing is worth my mental health, not even money for basketball, not just the scholarship anymore. So then
Mhm.
that's when it really clicked for me where I'm like, whoa, I really care about myself. And it allowed me to care about basketball and be able to thrive overseas.
That's incredible. So the light was turned on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, your light is still shining. So thank you so much. Really appreciate that. One other question. Whereabouts in Ireland did you live?
I lived in Dublin, Ireland, and I also lived in Howth, which is the coastal area. And during my time in Dublin, Ireland, I played with Colester Basketball Club, and we won 2 Super League championships.
Oh, very cool.
Yes.
Very cool. I'm sure they didn't want to say goodbye to you.
I had a great time with them and I wanted to go back, but I just knew that I had to move up levels. So I decided to go to Germany the next year.
Oh, neato. Very, very cool. Well, if you have words of wisdom before we sign off for our youth, about pursuing their dreams or, acknowledging their mental health supports, is there anything you would like to say before we sign off?
Yes, I want everyone to know the best bet you can make is on yourself. Invest in yourself because the more you invest in yourself, the more you can give to others.
I'm feeling that. I'm totally feeling it. And finally, Jack, we're signing off, so we're just gonna thank Keowa for being here today. Definitely will be connecting with you again for sure.
Yes, please do.
Oh, well, you're just dynamite. Thank you.
Thank
Jack?
you.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, Keowa, I cut you off there.
Oh, I said thank you, Lynn, and thank you,
Oh,
Jack.
thank you. And Jack?
I'm just happy that she came out and talked to her. Like some other people, they get nervous when they talk.
That's a very
Some other people, like when I went to a conference one year, I kept reading the paper over and over again. Like every night, I'm like, I need to get some sleep here because it was 5 in the morning time I started reading again. And I'm like, so I stayed up all day, slept in the afternoon.
I wonder if Keowa, you've had that experience before.
I have had. I remember being anxious in university, thinking like, "Oh my gosh, do I even know what I'm gonna say?" I wrote it and I couldn't even remember what I wrote because of the anxiety that I was feeling and the desire to overperform and do well. But then when I stopped caring so much about speaking for others and started speaking for myself and saying things in a way that resonated with me rather than just sounded good, I noticed how much more I connected with the material I was speaking about and how much easier it was for me to say because it was more authentic to me and wasn't like, I'm not a marketer. I'm not here trying to design what I'm
No.
saying for anyone. I'm just a human. So I wanted to talk more like a human. And I noticed sometimes when we write like we're trying to write a story rather than have a conversation. So that was one of the biggest tips I took away from my experience of becoming a better public speaker is writing more like you would speak rather than writing like you would write. Shorter, choppier sentences are okay for a speech because it gives that natural flow. When you give yourself big, long paragraphs, it's harder to remember, and then you're going to be up all night with no sleep. I've been there. I've been there.
There you go, Jack. Some more words of wisdom.
But the second night I slept fine because we had to get up and do it all over again. And I'm like,
Oh,
because we had to catch a train at one o'clock in the afternoon.
where were you coming from?
We were because the conference was in Ottawa
Nice.
and we had to travel all the way back and the train had to stop for 2.5 hours and I'm like, yeah, something happened here.
Oh, wow.
And Jackie, I enjoy spending time with you. We enjoy spending time with you. So we'll make sure that we invite you for our next session as well. And any valuable insight that you can offer, we really appreciate, Jack.
Thank you.
And Keowa, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart to yours. Thank you. We're very,
Thank
very
you for having me.
You're wonderful and look forward to connecting again for sure. And yeah, we're signing off from Youth for Change, Youth Connections Cafe. My name is Lynne McIntee. A pleasure to be here today with Keowa Walters for Scarborough Center for Healthy Communities. Bye, everyone.